everyone, I'm Alex Sams, and this is Lady Comic Book History, where we discuss female heroes, their evolution, and their impact on comics, comic book movies, and nerd culture in general. We are being brought to you by heroic girls using science fiction and media in the fight for gender equality. Okay guys, I am here to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. I had absolutely no idea where to start. I love listening to podcasts, and I knew I had a good idea for one, but I really didn't know how to get started with all the technical stuff. And Anchor makes it super, super easy. First of all, it's free, which is great when you're just starting out and you have no money to support your creative endeavors. Having free resources is amazing. And their creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or your phone. They have an app that makes it super easy to record everywhere. I have an adapter for my microphone that hooks into my phone, so I can literally record my podcast wherever I am, no matter what. Anchor also does all the heavy lifting for you. They distribute your podcast so it can be heard on all of the major platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and so many more, which makes life so much easier. When there's someone handling the business distribution side of it, you get to focus on just creating, which is what I love to do. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. They handle all the sponsorship matching and everything for you. It's amazing. It's everything you need for your podcast all in one place. So if you are interested in executing your brilliant idea for a podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Guys, seriously, it's the best decision you can make for your future podcast. All right, now Carol Danvers was also created in 1968, but there's just too much to get through, so she gets her very own episode. The character debuted in Marvel Superheroes issue number 13 in March of 1968 and was created by Roy Thomas and artist Gene Cullen. In her debut story, she is an officer in the Air Force and security chief of a restricted military base where Danvers meets Dr. Walter Lawson, I had Bree in my head, who is actually the Captain Marvel at the time. In a later story, Danvers is caught in the explosion of a Kree device after trying to get close to Captain Marvel. He saves her, but Danvers suffers serious injuries. She resurfaces with superhuman abilities and becomes the hero Miss Marvel, created by Jerry Conway and John Buscema, and debuted in a self-titled series in January of 1977. In this series, she is the editor of Woman Magazine, a spinoff of the Daily Bugle. The energy explosion Carol was exposed to melded her genetic structure with Captain Marvel's, effectively making her a human Kree hybrid. Carol made semi-regular appearances in the Avengers, the Defenders, Spider-Man, The Thing, and Iron Man. In her original 1970s run, Danvers' character fights for equal pay, tying her to the feminist movement of the time. Her feminism quickly fades as her main story in the 80s, The Avengers issue number 200 in October of 1980 by Bob Layton, David Michelinie, George Perez, I was surprised and disappointed by his involvement, by the way, and Jim Shooter wrote one of the worst storylines ever, not just for her, one of the worst storylines that exists in comic books. Miss Marvel is kidnapped, taken to an alternate dimension where she is brainwashed, raped, and impregnated, and then they have her leave Earth and fall in love and live with her therapist. Can you tell that no women were consulted about this? Her next major storyline occurs after Carol returns to Earth but is attacked by a rogue who absorbs her abilities and memories. Her memories later being restored by Professor X, and her character is further developed in Uncanny X-Men. In the 90s, Carol makes sporadic appearances, then played a prominent role in the Operation Galactic Storm storyline, and at the end of said storyline, Carol lost her connection to the white hole that she drew power from, retaining energy manipulation and absorption powers on a smaller scale, and making it impossible for her to go binary for long periods of time and without severe consequences. she continues the 90s with a new alias, Warbird. Her new alias brought new character development. Writer Kurt Busiek and artist George Perez had Carol develop an alcohol addiction and had her struggle with her powers and memories. She was on the wrong side of Civil War, assisting Iron Man with the Superhuman Registration Act, and she eventually enters into a relationship with Wonder Man. Appears in the Transformers crossover series and becomes leader of the Mighty Avengers. She is depowered in the Brood on Monster Island storyline and is sent into space until she could access her Captain Marvel powers. She plays a significant role in the Secret Invasion storyline, and during the storyline she joins the New Avengers and becomes second in command. I would like to point something out about her being on Tony's side during Civil War. Her and Tony's characters are so similar. They are both arrogant, they are both cocky, they are both alcoholics, and they are both mentally ill. And they deal with crippling insecurity. Yet one of these characters, hint hint, the one with the boobs, is constantly torn down by men and women who suffer from internalized misogyny for being arrogant and cocky. So if she's got similar traits, in fact, if she's got exactly identical traits to one of the most iconic male heroes ever, then I would love every misogynistic, sexist jackwang of a man to please explain to me what the difference is and why they don't like Carol as Captain Marvel. Just something to think about. And the 2010s gave us the conclusion of the second volume of Miss Marvel. Carol battles Mystique, an ongoing opponent for her, and a clone of Captain Marvel. She aids the Allied forces for Steve against Iron Patriot, and she develops a friendship with Spider-Man, eventually developing feelings for him. In July of 2012, Carol Danvers assumed the mantle of Captain Marvel in the ongoing series written by Kelly Sue DeConnick. In the 2013 Captain Marvel Avengers Assemble storyline, Carol lost her memories after defeating the Kree. In 2013, she joined the Guardians of the Galaxy, allowing her character to go cosmic as Captain Marvel. All of her best storylines and character development as Captain Marvel happened because of the amazing and creative writing skills of the beautiful and talented Kelly Sue DeConnick. Her runs of Captain Marvel are a true testament to what female characters are capable of when they are given a female voice and aren't stifled by the patriarchy. Then we, of course, have the Captain Marvel film, which was overall disappointing simply because the character has so much history and range, and we saw none of it. Her origins and the way she got her powers was spot on. However, the way they portrayed her powers and her characterization was absurdly weak, undefined, and underdeveloped. Brie Larson is perfect. I will fight anyone that says otherwise. Brie Larson is perfect. She's one of the best actresses of our generation. However, the script was so weak, she didn't have enough to work off of. I firmly believe that the Captain Marvel movie, what the writers, producers, and directors, what they knew about it, it genuinely felt like they had an intern Wikipedia the character and then come in and present the gist. That's what it felt like. They did not understand her character, her powers, how she accesses them, the range of them, what her powers do, using her powers has an effect on her. They could have dived in so much more to her emotional state. I feel like we could have seen her internal struggle more, and that's not on Brie. That's on the writing. There weren't enough scenes to allow for that. And I love what they were doing with the emotion as a weakness, and especially as one of the most powerful female characters. I think it's important that that story was told. However, I think it would have been more impactful if it was told right, and it simply was not. I'm very much hoping we get better writers for her as her arc in the MCU continues, because I desperately want an A-Force movie, but not if they're going to fuck it up. All right, that was me talking for almost 10 minutes straight on just Captain Marvel. I will see you guys next time for my very special episode, Scarlet Witch Versus, where I tackle one by one the characters she normally gets pitted against and why they would all suffer a very quick loss. All right, talk to you next time. I'm Alexandria Sams, and for more comic book related content, check out my YouTube page as well as my vocalmedia.com. Just search my name in that creators bar. My Instagram is fangirlproductions13, and you can check out all of my work, my personal writing, articles, comic book stuff on ladycomicbookhistory.squarespace.com. This has been Lady Comic Book History, and I will talk to you guys next time.